This is approximately your sister. You'll face this. My pricey baby, in case you trust in angels, start this video and watch it absolutely. Angel is not silent anymore. He is now not anticipating the right time to whisper for your heart. He's speaking now, boldly, sincerely, and without pause. And his voice is breaking through the clouds, crashing through the veil, and status proper within the middle of your existence, due to the fact this is no ordinary moment. That is a divine interruption. A holy disclosure. A sacred alert sent instantly from heaven's emergency desk. That is approximately your sister. You're going to face this worst situation due to the fact she did an element she ought to have never touched. This isn't an accident. This is not an innocent mistake. This isn't always a misunderstanding that time can heal. What she did opened a religious portal. And now the ripple is attaining you. You weren't supposed to be touched by using this hurricane. This struggle wasn't created for you. But her palms, what she did, what she said, what she signed, what she concealed, precipitated a divine alarm. A religious transaction turned into made in darkness. It had your name connected, but you never signed for it. She did. You have been dozing whilst it happened. You were praying for blessings, and he or she become conjuring failures with selections rooted in worry, envy, and faulty loyalty to individuals who don't even love her. God noticed it. He watched her stroll into that spiritual settlement, knowing it'd deliver a flood into your existence. And now what she did is status at your door, knocking, now not gently, however with fury. You've been feeling the strain without information wherein it became coming from. That tightness to your chest. The sudden anxiety. The lack of peace whilst you're around her. Your spirit knew before your mind did. Your soul kept screaming, something's not proper, but you brushed it off. You stated, it's just stress. However, it wasn't strain. It become religious infection. Her movements have become a magnet for struggle. And because you are spiritually related to her, the struggle has observed its way to the doorstep. God is pulling the veil returned now. He's now not shielding emotions anymore. He's no longer allowing you to walk blindly. He is announcing, appearance. Appearance cautiously. Look without emotional filters. That is approximately your sister. No longer a friend. Now not an ex. Your personal blood. And that is what hurts the maximum, isn't always it? The realization that the one you defended, the only you trusted with secrets and techniques, the only you blanketed from judgment, the only you believed could never flip towards you. She's the only maintaining the knife. And now not by using coincidence. She changed into given a preference. Heaven waited for her to repent. Angel stood beside her bed at night, whispering in goals, warning her that the direction she was on might result in destruction, now not just for her, however for you, too. However, she left out the warnings. She hardened her coronary heart. She permit the enemy convince her that what she turned into doing turned into harmless, even justified. She said, I am now not hurting anybody. However, heaven cried every time she said it. Due to the fact the truth is, what she did broke something within the spirit. A non-secular agreement changed into sign the use of deception. A secret settlement that involved your call, your future, and your benefits. She idea you'll never discover. She notion the mask she wore in the front of you will by no means slip. But masks soften in divine fireplace. And the fire has already been lit. God is exposing it now. You aren't loopy for what you've got been feeling. The disconnect among your spirit and hers. That wasn't coincidence. That become divine insulation. Heaven trying to hold your soul included from what her electricity carried. She's been carrying this darkness for some time. And now it is spilling. The worst state of affairs is coming now, not because you sinned, now not because you failed, however because she opened a door that cannot be closed without religious battle. You may have already started out feeling the results. Ordinary economic delays. Blocked advantages. Goals that become nightmares. Surprising arguments. Possibilities that slip through your arms. That is now not karma. It really is now not terrible luck. It truly is spiritual contamination. And it's time to disinfect your lifestyles with reality. The reality is painful. It's sharp. However, it's also liberating. Your sister has made a PC, whether or not consciously or unconsciously, with forces that don't want you to upward push. And despite the fact that she might also nevertheless smile at you, her spirit is in war with yours. She has invited shadows into your circle of relatives as electricity. And now, the rate is being demanded. Brace yourself. Due to the fact inside the coming days, you may see matters that surprise you. You will overhear conversations that weren't supposed for your ears. You may discover records that make your belly flip. You will don't forget moments that make feel now. The puzzle is assembling quick. And once you see the entire photo, you may apprehend why the pain felt so random, why the blessing stopped flowing, and why the conflict became unbearable. Heaven has had enough. I am stepping in now. Not to ruin you, but to split you. Separation is by no means clean. But sometimes it's the most effective path to salvation. You should hate her. You don't need to curse her. However, you have to detach spiritually, emotionally, financially, even physically, if needed. Because what she's wearing isn't always your go-to undergo. It's not your mission to fix her. You tried. You loved. You forgave. However, now God says, permit go. Or you may go down together with her. The worst state of affairs isn't coming to break you. It is coming to reveal the spiritual contamination so it can be eliminated. God is with you. You can feel alone, but you aren't. You're surrounded via angelic forces. Archangel Michael has been assigned to guard your future on this hour. He is already shifting. He's already drawing his sword. You could feel beaten, but the outcome is already sealed. You may continue to exist this. However, you cannot cross returned to blindness. You cannot pretend anymore. The reality is here, and it's miles non-negotiable. You will see her shift quickly. Her energy will feel strange. Her words will begin to sound rehearsed. You may sense that she is aware of you. Recognize. Do no longer engage in confrontation. Do not argue. Do no longer fight in the flesh. This is a religious war. Your silence can be your electricity. Your distance might be your protection. Your prayers could be your revenge. God is handling it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Flawlessly. However, you need to live obedient. No greater ignoring the symptoms. No extra excusing the toxicity. No greater downplaying your ache just to maintain the peace. The peace you have been protecting wasn't real. It turned into manipulated. It became a lie wearing love. And now it is crumbling. It truly is now not failure. It truly is deliverance. You're being set free, no longer from her presence, but from the chains her moves positioned around your future. God is going to repair you. He is going to bless you in ways that do not make experience. You'll upward thrust from this. You will walk into new territory. The same mouth that spoke in opposition to you will in the future watch you win. And it may not be out of revenge. It will be an affidavit. A reminder that no weapon fashioned, no matter how near, can prosper when God says, sufficient. This second might also sense like dying. The death of agree with. The death of the sibling bond. The death of antique dreams. However, on the opposite aspect of this ache is a resurrection. A lifestyle so full of peace, readability, strength, and divine reason that you may appearance returned at this typhoon and say, thanks, God, for the publicity. You're no longer losing your sister. You're dropping the phantasm of who you idea she became. And in that space of fact, you'll find yourself again. You've been too silent for too long. You've been crying in mystery. Smiling in public. Hoping that matters could shift on their very own. However, hope borderless is self-destruction. And God loves you an excessive amount of to let you live certain by way of a sister who selected a darker path. He's not punishing her through you. He is turning in you from her. That is your second of clarity. This is the hour of separation. That is where the divine scissors come down and sever what changed into once joined in love, however has now been twisted via deception. Do no longer combat the cut. Let it slice what it desires to. Permit it purify your course. Allow it protect your peace. The worst state of affairs may be unavoidable now, however the worst outcome is not your component. You will rise. You may glow. You will heal. You will love again. you'll agree with once more. Not blindly, however wisely. With discernment. With holy armor. With divine focus. The battle is real, but the victory is yours. Cry if you have to. Mourn the phantasm. However, do not turn returned. What's at the back of you has already decided. What is beforehand of you is waiting with open palms. Pass ahead. Move in religion. And never neglect, this is not the quit. This is the unraveling of lies so the fact can eventually breathe. This is approximately your sister. You'll face this worst situation due to the fact she did a component in the back of your return that no person notion she would ever have the heart to do. However, heaven saw it. And the cries you buried deep in the corners of your soul are no longer hidden. You've been walking through days with a silent ache, no longer knowledge why things sense blocked, why people turn cold without a purpose, why relationships all of sudden wither to your palms like dry leaves touched by using a bizarre wind. You did not ask for this pain. You didn't even know that the fingers that claimed to love you had been operating in secret to put off your leap forward. However, the time of revelation has come. This message is for you, and I'm calling you out of misunderstanding. There's something you need to realize, and though it could pierce your soul to hear it, it will additionally loose you. You'll face this worst state of affairs because your sister opened a door she had no proper to open. A door that have remained sealed. A door that let something into your ecosystem, something that did now not belong for your future. You trusted her. Of everybody, you never thought she would be the one to grin for your face, but plant seeds of put off in the spirit realm when your back became turned. The instant you commenced growing, the moment humans started to word you, the moment you commenced to heal, to dream once more, to laugh a touch extra and cry a touch much less. Something in her could not take it. Jealousy is silent, but it smiles loud in heaven's eyes. She failed to inform you approximately the conversation. The only way she said things about you that twisted the minds of those you as soon as leaned on. She failed to tell you approximately the go-to. The only she made while you had been ill, not to bring healing, however to hold words you cried into the air and whisper them to ears that by no means cared about you. She did not let you know approximately the small vow she made in her coronary heart. If she couldn't be happy, neither have to you. That is the root. The silent root that has been choking your peace. The invisible hand that has become the hearts of others cold toward you without a reason. The reason you preserve getting so near joy, only for it to vanish once more. The reason you hold sensing that someone is looking you, silently hoping you fail. And you're right to feel that. You were not loopy. Your discernment has been correct the whole time. But your love for her made you silence your instincts. And now, it has come to this second. A second in which heaven have to monitor what earth saved hidden. The truth is this. You are going to walk through a fire not because of something you did wrong, however because a person who ought to have prayed for you secretly envied the favor that has continually surrounded you. Even as youngsters, she noticed it. Even inside the moments you suffered, you had a light. And though you'll have given her your last breath, she desired something you couldn't provide her: your grace, your calling, your divine covering. This worst situation you are about to walk through, it's going to feel like abandonment, like heartbreak, like betrayal from every root. And you may query your well-worth. However, pay attention intently. This isn't your ending. This is your awakening. What she did cannot prevent what I've planned for you. However, it should be uncovered so you prevent weeping for someone who can't convey the weight of your promise. There is a night time coming where you'll feel the walls close in. You may surprise why no person is reaching out. Why your name is all of a sudden removed from the rooms you used to be invited into. However, that night time is holy. It isn't always your end, it's miles your beginning. Due to the factor's strength, and as soon as it is visible, the lies will lose their voice. Someone goes to call you soon, and their voice will tremble, due to the fact they realize something they have not told you. They have seen the symptoms. They have heard her say matters she had no business saying. And they may confess what has been making your spirit stressed. It'll surprise you. It'll destroy your coronary heart. But it'll also set you free. Your sister, she made a desire. She did something that aligned her with the very folks that prayed to your downfall. And though her mouth says she loves you, her actions have pulled you into a hurricane you did not deserve. She related to someone who has been analyzing you, someone who has long been green with envy of your soul's resilience. And together, they decided to shift something behind your lower back. And now, you're feeling the burden of it, however you don't know where it got here from. Until now, this is approximately your sister. And the worst element is not the act she did. It is the way she's pretending not anything took place. The way she appears you in the eye. The manner she says, "I'm pleased with you," but walks away sour. The way she says, "I'm satisfied for you," however each time something top happens to you, something else collapses. Due to the fact her heart has opened a door to jealousy, and jealousy, once rooted, is tough to forge out without publicity. You should let go. You ought to stop begging for her to recognize. You should prevent bleeding for someone who won't even admit she's wounded you. You may have to stop praying that she loves you the way you like her. That time has exceeded. Now's the time to upward thrust. This hurricane will come quickly. One verbal exchange will alternate the whole thing. The humans you depended on will shift. The locations you cherished will no longer experience like domestic. The comforts you leaned on will sense shaken. And you will marvel why God would let this occur. However, this isn't punishment. That is protection. Because had this no longer been revealed now, you would have taken her into your subsequent season, and she might have poisoned your promise from the internal. There may be nevertheless time to forgive her. However, you must no longer stay where love is most effective masks. Your sister desires deliverance, however it is not your burden to hold anymore. You've cried enough for her. You have got sacrificed sufficient. You have got defended her in rooms she gossiped about you in. You've got covered her errors whilst she uncovered your scars. But that is the season where reality have to rise. Where God clears the fog and suggests you who sincerely walked with you and who simply walked near you to live close to your blessing. This message is for you. You have got felt tired for weeks. Now not simply physical tiredness, however the kind that makes your soul sigh at random moments. You've got lost passion for the belongings you as soon as loved. And you have commenced to impeach yourself. However the reality is, you are not vulnerable. You are not damaged. You're under religious pressure because the lies round you have got grown too loud and the reality in you is growing. Do not forget about the following few dreams. God goes to expose you faces. Do not push aside the following few atypical feelings. Take note of the chills, to the tears that pop out of nowhere, to the names that echo for your mind. Due to the fact clarity is coming. The worst situation is not the betrayal. It smiles the silence that follows it. But even in that silence, heaven will communicate. And whilst it does, you'll understand it become in no way your fault. You best cherished too deeply. Something is about to shift. The folks that grew to become on you're going to watch you rise anyway. The ones who believed your sister's twisted model of occasions, they will return, but now not all are meant to stay. Let God be the decide. Let time display all things. You will sense by myself, however you aren't forsaken. You may cry once more, but you'll heal faster this time. You'll lose human beings, but advantage peace. And most of all, you will walk with clarity. Because what turned into accomplished in mystery has reached the ears of the maximum high. And God does no longer neglect the tears of the harmless. There may be a page delivering your story. And although this chapter is tough, it's miles necessary. Due to the fact you're being separated from what cannot go with you. Your prayers have reached heaven. And this revelation, it is your answer. Allow your coronary heart grieve. However, do not let it develop sour. Permit the fact hurt. But do not allow it harden you. Your future remains intact. Your call remains written in glory. No betrayal can do away with your destiny. No sister's preference can erase your calling. What God wrote over you in eternity nevertheless stands. That is about your sister. However, it's also about you. Your energy. Your coronary heart. Your unwavering faith in people. Your hope. And even in the end your forgiveness. Due to the fact when it is all stated and finished, you may forgive her. Now not due to the fact she asked, now not because she deserved it, however because your coronary heart is greater than her betrayal. And this is why you'll be blessed. That is why you will upward push. This is why, after the storm, there can be a wind of restoration so divine that even your enemies will fall silent. You will now not lose yourself to this. You may now not collapse. You'll weep, however you'll no longer waste away. This message is for you. Maintain strolling. Hold breathing. Preserve trusting. The hurricane is real. But so is your breakthrough. And it's far closer than you watched. She did it. And heaven noticed it.